In this video, I'm going to show you an enhancement to the chatbot feature within the Smooth Messenger extension. You can see here a conversation between myself from my phone and a chatbot here. I'll show you it in action. The objective of doing this is so that if you had a situation where you were putting your phone number up on a billboard somewhere, saying, text this number to get an offer back, you'll get people texting back, and maybe you'll say text hi to 334-513-0457. If they do that, then you might want to reply back automatically with, hello, may I have your name? And then if they respond with their name, you could automatically update the record in the CRM to make it much easier for you to have the right data. Because otherwise you're going to have a whole bunch of contacts that are saying unknown with their phone number, but nothing else. You might be able to use some kind of caller ID to look them up, but it might be easier if you can ask them questions automatically, gather the right information, and then automatically update their record in the CRM. That's what you can see is happening here. The way it works is we use the Twilio Autoresponders module. That is going to be able to pull information out of the message that someone has sent and then reply back with a relevant reply, and also update fields, create tasks, or add tags. Let me show you what that looks like within the CRM, what the config looks like. We've got the Twilio Autoresponders module here. In this particular scenario, I've got 3 records. The first one is to deal with the very first message that they send. The trigger for this one is an inbound message without any prior outbound messages, which is the situation where you've advertised your phone number and you've put it with a message saying, please text hi to 33, whatever the number is. Then if they text hi, we reply back, that's the message to send part, with hello, may I have your name? The next one is we have an autoresponder for when they reply with their name. In this case, the trigger will be an inbound message replying to an outbound message. We are filtering based on this outbound message here, which is what we sent in the previous step. That means that this autoresponder will only run when the outbound message was, hello, may I have your name? If it does trigger, we then reply with, nice to meet you. And you can see here, there's a merge field, bit of a weird format. That's the way I had to code it to make it work. You can either use inbound message or last outbound message. I may add other options in the future. And then may I have your email? And you saw what that looks like in the actual conversation. We've also got a field API name to update. This is where we're able to update the lead's name. I'll first show you what that looks like within the CRM so you can verify that it is working, and I'll show you where to get the API names from. If we go into this record here, we'll be able to look at the timeline view and we'll see that it did indeed update the name. If we go down, you can see here in a previous test, I had previously replied with, it's Jeremy, when it asked me what my name was. Then when I replied this time around with Jeremy, it changed it from it's Jeremy to Jeremy. You can also see that there was an update to the email, and that all happened by using the Twilio autoresponder. The way that you get the API names is going to setup, APIs, API names. And then if you go into the leads module, you'll be able to search for last name, and you can see that's what the API name was. If you happen to need to update more than one field at a time, you need to use field update Json. I'm going to have a much more intuitive user interface in the future, but for now, you'll write it like this, where you have the API name on the left-hand side, and then what you want to update it to on the right-hand side. This is JSON format. It'll be familiar if you're a programmer, otherwise you might want to ask my team for help. But we could do something like this. And this way it would update the last name to what they replied with, and it would update the first name to unknown, because we can't, with the current flow, we can't distinguish between the first name and the last name easily. The final record that we have in Autoresponders is we have this save email, where it's basically the same format as the previous one, where we're triggering it based on a reply to an outbound message. We are using "May I have your email" as the trigger. You'll note that the message was actually "Hi Jeremy, may I have your email?" But because we don't know what their name is, we can't actually have the full text, and therefore we just include the last part of it. It'll match based on, even if the message isn't a 100% match, if the message contains this text here, then it will match. We then set the reply, which will be "Thanks, we'll be in touch." We specify that we want to update email to what they responded with in their text. That's it. You could also, if you wanted to, at this point, you could create a task, which you could have something like, "Please follow up with new lead." You can include the message in here as well. You could add a tag. If you wanted to include an image when you send back the message, you could do that too by putting in the URL for the image. Here's where you'd add a tag. Hopefully that helps you to be able to create some chatbots. In the future, I'm going to streamline this whole process so that you won't have to do it in a way that is a little bit clunky right now. But it does work. It just requires that you have to know how to format this correctly. But if you watch this video, you'll be able to do it. And you can send an email to team@delugeonaluge.com if you need any help.